So this is going to be the second video of our step stool project. I've got the leftover piece after I cut off what I needed for the top. This is what we're going to make the two legs out of. So they're two 6-inch tall legs. This piece is much bigger than 12 inches, so we've got a lot of extra to work with here. I'm going to go ahead and plane, and then we'll rip it. I'm going to go ahead and skip over most of that, so the video is going to pause here while I do my jointing. I'll talk about the planer in a second. Okay, so I just was over at the jointer and I jointed one flat face and then one flat edge. Now I'm at the planer. I'm going to make sure that I measure my board to make sure that I'm not taking off too much on my first pass. So I'm getting about 1.43. I'm going to set the planer to about 1.4. Start that program button. 1.4. Enter. I'll adjust that. Again, I'm going to go ahead and turn the video off here while I do this. But just a few reminders. The jointed surface is going flat on the table. I'm going to run it through and I'm going to do 2 turns. I'm going down to 3/4 on this, so I've got quite a bit of planing to do right now. Okay, so I just finished planing my board. As you can see here, I stopped planing at 0.8, even though I know I'm going down to 0.75. So that extra 0.05 is going to give me some room to do some sanding if I need to, or if perchance my board were to warp a little bit, I could always come back and flatten it out a little bit more. Usually a good idea if you can, just leave it a little bigger than you need to until you absolutely have to get it down to final size. Next up, we're over here at the table saw to do our rip. Make sure we're taking that jointed edge and running it up against our fence. Just following our plans here, we know we need these to be 7 inches wide as our final measurement. So I'm setting my table saw fence at 7 inches. And then I've got my push stick ready to go here. And I'm going to go ahead and push my board through. It's just going to cut a little sliver off because this was only 7 1/4 inches wide when we started. Okay, so our next step is going to be to cross-cut this into our 2 legs. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cross-cut our board. As a reminder here, what we're going to want is to cut a thin little piece off this board, and then we're going to cut 6-inch pieces. What I am going to do here is try to cut this end off and then cut my pieces from here. I'm going to try to get this knot into the little half circle area that's going to get cut out, because I'm trying to avoid that. So, I'll line up my cut here. Just trying to take a sliver off, so I don't even need that. Just taking a little bit off the end. Put that down. I'll run this through. If I don't go all the way through to my anti-kickback balls, you can pull that board back, but if you go all the way through, just keep pushing it through. That did not have an offcut there. And I've got my nice clean edge. Now I'm going to set my stop to 6 inches, because that is what my plans call for, is 2 6-inch boards. And I'm going to run that nice cleaned up edge up against my stop. It's going to give me my 6-inch pieces. Something to consider here, we've only got 6 inches to work with. I'm keeping my hands over here. If we feel like we need to, we can always get some sort of a clamp, but as long as your hands are just on the crosscut table or the miter gauge, they should be out of the way. If they run into this blade guard, then I know I have problems. There's one. Second. Wait for my blade to stop before I grab my offcut piece. This piece is just going to be scrapped.